I have officially been a barber in this studio for a whole year now. And 2024 was a crazy year for me. It was my first year actually locking in and working at a private, salon suite. Um, and it has been a crazy year. I think it's the most I've grown ever in my career. 2024 has been a crazy year for me. This is just me talking to the camera. First YouTube video, but anyways, yeah, this is raw, this is real. I'm 27 years old and my baby was born this year in April 21st. And yeah, what a beautiful journey. I guess I'm just going on here to document everything and just to have my thoughts online and kind of see where I'm at in life, because I did not expect this year to go as well as it has been. And it's been crazy. So I started to work in this studio back in December 2023. December 26, 2023. And it's currently December 26, 2024. And it's about to be 2025 in a couple days. And I'm a full-time barber. Been cutting hair since I was 16, but professionally since 2021. I got my license in here in Texas. I'm in Houston, and you just need 1,000 hours to get your license. And yeah, you can start working at a barbershop or working in your own studio like me. I love cutting in my studio. There's pros and cons in working in both. I used to cut at my parents' garage. That's kind of how I started cutting hair. But it's been crazy. I used to charge in the beginning of this year. I think I charged $40 for a haircut. Don't get me wrong, that's a lot of money for a haircut. And at that time, it was a pretty good pace that I was cutting hair in. I was cutting the same people, it was more of a rotation. I would get maybe a new client a week, maybe. But that was probably, it was like a plateau that I hit just because I felt like I was such in a peak in my life. Give you a little background. I got married 2022. It was in October of 2022. And when I got married, my wife and I moved into an apartment on our own. I used to cut at my parents' garage, but we decided to move into a studio. Oh no, it was a 2-bedroom. It was a bedroom and a study, and we were paying $1,500 for that bedroom. We lived in Katy, Texas. And it was a nice area. We thought it was nice for a little bit, and we signed a lease for 15 months. And we converted one of the studies into a barbershop like this. And that's where I converted, not converted, but I brought all my clients in from cutting in the garage. So I was like, hey, I'm over here. It was a scary thing because, I'm moving a little bit further, but I had really loyal clients who came and supported me in my business there. And in a matter of weeks, I was already booked up again. I remember I started charging around $35 around 2022. And I steadily increased the price and I got it all the way to 40. And so that's kind of where this story starts. Because during that time, I was cutting in cutting from my parents' garage. Now I'm cutting at my apartment. I wasn't really paying taxes, or it was all cash, it was all just like side money that I didn't really fully commit to the barbering thing. I had a license, but it was just like, I was so used to doing things kind of not traditional that I kind of was content at where I was at. And it was during a time of my life where I thought I had everything. You climb this mountain, this goal that you want, and when you get it, you kind of wish, or like you expect some type of feeling. I was working in my apartment, getting paid about $40 a haircut, so I can do that in $40 an hour, which is amazing. And I was cutting a lot of people. It was around like 10 people, so I would make like $400 a day, on a good day, So around $300, $400 a day. I would work 5-6 days a week, and I was making pretty good money. I think I was making around like $7,000 to $8,000 like a month, but I couldn't hit 10K a month, and it was so hard. Um, Mind you, I couldn't really post online like the way I'm doing right now. I was only cutting hair there, and everything was like a referral base, just because I slept there, and I didn't really want strangers to come in. And every time I would get like a DM, or I would still post on social media, but I couldn't go as hard as I did this year. But I was concerned for my safety, and we slept at the apartment. I didn't want like strangers to really come in. So it would always be like, I would text them, be like, so who sent you, bro? So it was always be somebody who knew each other, and that's how I built my clientele. Now, a couple months later after that, we lived in that apartment for that amount of time, and I got into kind of this complacency, and it happens in every career. It doesn't have to be barbering, but you get comfortable. Maybe you work at like a restaurant, or like a grocery store. Like you clock in and clock out, and it's like it becomes a routine. It starts to get easier, but I don't know, I started feeling maybe like, is this it? It was a time in my life where I felt like I made it. I worked so hard to get there. I got married, moved out of my parents' house. I have this career set for me, and I was making good money. But it was almost like a what now feeling. Like I reached the top of the mountain, and now I'm at the top of the mountain, and guess what I see? I see more mountains, and it almost felt like, what do I do now? It was like a stuck feeling, just because I felt like, is this the same thing that I'm going to do every day? Like every day I'm just going to, this is what I'll do. It was kind of scary, not going to lie. But I talked to my wife about it, and I said, babe, like, I feel happy. I'm grateful, but it feels like I'm not as happy as I should be. And it sucked, because I didn't want to feel, or at least sound ungrateful. Like I'm so happy to be able to do what I do. And it was a time in my life where a lot of people around me, my friends and stuff, kind of made me feel guilty for complaining or not feeling more grateful than I am, I guess. Just because it wasn't traditional. A lot of my friends went to college and had a job, and they weren't getting paid as much as I was. So I couldn't really tell them my problems. So it pushed a lot of people away in my life. I was around 25, 26 at that time. 25. And it was like midlife crisis hit, like quarter life crisis hit. And it kind of felt like, what now? And then we found out we're pregnant. That was crazy. We've been trying for a couple months then, but we left it in the hands of God, and God really answered. And it was a time where we had to realign ourselves, because there's no more, like, it was just like a left hook, like, pow, you know what I mean? Like, what now? Like, we knew we were getting to that direction. We just didn't know it was going to happen like that. So my wife said no more cutting at the apartment. She didn't want me to cut where I lived, obviously, anymore, especially with a baby. So we ended up finding a better place in our better apartment, and but now we're deciding, am I still gonna cut hair at that apartment, or am I gonna move into like some type of barber shop maybe, or suite? Looked around. The regular price we looked at this barber shop. I'm not gonna name where, but it was in Katy, and they were charging like for booth rent, just the chair. First of all, let me break down like how barbers actually, like, we get paid cash, but like it's not all of us. Like the money doesn't just go all into us. The way it works is we either pay rent for the chair. It's called booth rent. Like, in a barbershop there's many chairs. There's an owner, and then he rents out the chairs. So, like, he owns the chairs, but he rents it out to each one. And as a barber, if you're a licensed barber, you can work at a barbershop and then you'll get a rate. And usually it's a weekly rate of how much you would have to pay the booth rent. So I looked around, and the booth rent in Houston, Texas at that time, it was 2023, was like, it was like $200 to $250 for that booth rent. And I was wondering, like, dang, that's $1,000 a month, which is a lot of money, because it's an extra rent. It was cool when I was living with my parents, but like by ourselves, we're paying like another rent. And for me to be surrounded by next to people, it just felt like it wasn't the right fit for me specifically. I mean, there's probably other barbershops who charge a lot less. I just didn't like the area, especially if I'm gonna be living there with our baby. So we decided to keep looking, and we found this place. And this place is called Image Salon. And they have suites in this place. It's a building full of rooms that you can rent out. This is about 10 by 10 feet, so like 100 square feet, maybe less. But it was enough space for me to have my space. And I remember this place because my wife got her haircut done here through a Groupon. It was funny because I remember watching her get her hair done once at a place here. And the lady, she remembers me too because she works right here. And I sat there and I'm like, you know what? I cut hair, like, not professionally, but if I were to do it, I'd do it here. Man, that was 2018 and now it's 2024. It's like, wow, full circle. Anyways, in this studio, I pay about $250 as well. But, I mean, I get to film videos, like I'm here. I get to have my freedom. I get to paint it the way I want to and customize it the way I want to. At a barbershop, you can't really do that too much. You got to follow whatever the owner says, which I respect. I respect that. But yeah, so now I'm here. And let me tell you how my year went, man. So January, I moved in. No, it was December 2024, I moved in. And we got this place set up. They gave me a week free. So I used that week to paint these place. I'll give you guys a tour. So I painted the walls, added the lights and the mirror, and I already had this chair from my old apartment. So this is the chair that I had. This is about $1,400. I wanted to invest in a good chair. It doesn't squeak or like Amazon stuff. I used to have those. I bought I bought this from the apartment, but it's a Husky tool set, toolbox. It was like $300. So yeah, everything had to be kind of professional because my wife really was like, we are not gonna just do things under the table anymore. So I got a business account, DBA, LLC, all that good stuff, and business bank account, like I said, credit cards. Just, I started realizing, we are starting a family. I'm 26, I turned 26 this year. Oh no, I turned 27 this year. And I want to buy a house one day. I want to have stuff. I want to have assets, So I really locked in, and I knew that I could do it if I knew I could do it because I'm disciplined, and I knew I had drive and motivation, and I know that if I had a plan and somehow orchestrated, I could really do it. So I should have opened up with this, but it's currently 2024. It's about to be 2025. I'm a barber, full-time barber. I charge $100 now for haircuts, and I just hit making $20,000 in 30 days. Which is my goal for this year, which is crazy because I hit it. I hit it right before it ended. So how did I do it? How did I do it, Jericho? You might ask. I applied into a mentorship program, and I knew that if I had the help, it was like a coach, I knew if I had the help, the guidance, I could do it. So I looked up I looked up barbers online on Instagram, TikTok, and I looked at who their following was, and there's this guy kept popping up, man. Deluxe, he kept showing up, and I see ads before, and I thought it was a scam low-key. But each one that I looked up to and admired all followed the same guy. So I was like, you know what? Let me look into it. And guess what? By the grace of God, the people that I was talking to at the barbershop connected me with him through a DM. And it's crazy because I didn't expect. It was like everything was falling into place. And I never thought that I would get to this position where, you know, now I have the freedom to make these videos for you guys. Whoever is watching, for one guy. Because I know what it feels like to start something new, and it's very scary, especially moving to, you know, working at this place and moving to your own place. And then, like, you know, I'm a barber, but I can imagine how it would be, you know, if I was in a workplace. And the freedom that we have, you know, as barbers is amazing. You know, I get to schedule my time out. I get to spend more time with my baby. It's just, I love the freedom that it gives me. And on top of that, the clientele has changed from $40 a haircut to $100. I'm getting lawyers. I'm getting, you know, influencers and streamers and business owners, people who have like their own money and their own business. Now I kind of want to get into a position where I want to start interviewing people. And that's kind of my goal in 2025. I want to genuinely help people and tell people their story. So yeah, stick along in my journey. Comment below if you have any questions. I'll really go into detail. And I'm going to try to just talk like this every day. I was watching a video about like how it's the easiest time on YouTube to like go viral. Apparently YouTube is really pushing out these type of content. So this is my first video. We'll see what happens. And yeah. See you guys next time. Bye.